Okay, the time has come. I'm going to update you guys on a little bit of my birth story. But yeah, let's get started. The anesthesiologist that everyone raved about came in and delivered news that I was dreading. They all said that she was the best anesthesiologist and that she can do anything, and they're really hopeful for it. And she came in with news basically saying that she doesn't feel comfortable doing an epidural or a spinal tap on me because of the placement of my rods, and that she's so sorry, that she thinks the best thing to do would be to put me under and do a C-section that way. And when I tell you, I was so heartbroken. I was so confused. And so Jay and I talked. Long story short, lots of emotions, and we decided let's go in and try for natural and see what my body can do. And so that's exactly what we did. Okay, we made it to our room. This is where all the magic is gonna happen. And then that baby girl will be right in there. So crazy. This is crazy happening. And look at this view. Oh my gosh. Yay! So once we were in the room, we got settled. They started me on Pitocin. They did the balloon, all of that stuff to start opening up my cervix. I was okay until maybe 11 or 12 midnight. And so they brought in this machine because they couldn't do an epidural. They couldn't do that. They brought in this machine that you breathe into, and you're supposed to it's supposed to kind of get you a little lightheaded and get they call it laughing gas, get you a little bit more distracted from the pain. So I started on that, and I remember I kept telling Jay, I don't feel anything. I feel so much pain. I don't feel any relief, nothing. And the nurses said that's normal. Some people don't feel anything, some people do. And so I labored all night with the gas mask. So I didn't really know what to expect with paralysis and laboring. I didn't know what the pain was going to be. So what I felt all night was my stomach tightening and shooting pains going up my back. My back felt really tight, shooting pains going up my stomach. And they got me to 16 on Pitocin, which is half of what they can give you. And I got to 7 centimeters fully dilated, which I was really proud of myself. And then it got to be 7 a.m. and I was really suffering. In the middle of the night, because they put me up to 16, the doctors rushed in, and Jalen was kind of in a little distress, and we weren't sure what was going to happen. So that was really scary. Okay, so here's where it gets what the heck. So I'm sitting there and I'm I don't feel anything. I'm not okay. And Jay goes over and looks at the air, the nitro, whatever they were giving me. And he goes, breathe in. And the gauge wasn't working. The ventilator was off. I wasn't getting anything. I had no pain meds all night. The anesthesiologist team said that they've never really used this before for somebody. They don't use it very often. And so they all realized that I had no pain meds, and I dilated fully to 7 centimeters all on my own. And that's when I was y'all gotta figure this out, because I don't know how much longer I can do this. So that was really, really rough. But thank God Jay went over and took a look and literally fixed it, and then he turned it on, and then this is what happened.
Still want to kick it, we can go get a room. It won't cost you much. I'm a good vibe.
Basically what happens is every 6 hours the doctor comes in and checks your cervix to see if you dilated more. And I was at 7 centimeters dilated all night. And when the doctor came in after the 6 hours passed, I needed to be at 8 in order for them to see if I was improving or if I was going to go under distress or whatever. the doctor came in and I was still stuck at 7. And that's when he said, I think, you know, it's best that we go in and we do a C-section, and we have to put you under. I was heartbroken again and lost it, because that was the one thing I didn't want to have to do. And it was like it was just like really, really hard to like swallow that I may not be there for the birth of my daughter, that I may not be able to hear her first cry, see her have that moment with Jay, watch him hold her, all because they weren't sure if they could get a spinal tap in. And I had a little breath of fresh air after like losing my mind, and just so incredibly heartbroken. The anesthesiologist, a different team, came in and said, hey, we'd love to try. If you want us to try to do a spinal tap, we are more than like willing to try if that's what you want. And I kind of had like a little breath of fresh air going, okay, well, at least I have one more try to see if my body will let me be there for her, like emotionally and physically, and like be able to remember the birth of my first daughter. So then they wheeled me out. I went into the OR. He was not able to be in the OR while I was getting the spinal tap. And luckily, like, they numbed it. I had the best nurse. Like, if she's watching this, I freaking love her. My nurse was incredible. When we were doing the spinal tap, like, I was just like shaking uncontrollably. She was holding me. I was sitting on the edge of the bed. They were trying to find a space to do it, and they were fishing around. I didn't feel like anything. Maybe it was too low. I don't know. But, or maybe it was just because the numbing. But long story short, they tried for about 10 minutes, fished around, and I got to the point where I was feeling so sick that I started dry heaving. And I finally looked at her and I said, I'm done. I'm so done. My body can't take anymore. I was still contracting. So all in all, it was really traumatizing and sad and heartbreaking that my body couldn't do it, and that I feel like my spinal cord injury took something away from me, like a moment that I'll never like be able to get back. So they ended up putting me under, and I got to see Jay before. Oh God.
Here she comes. Here comes her head. Her head is out. Delivery. Woo! 13:59. It's a baby girl. Yeah. Happy birthday, Daddy.
You did great, babe.
All right. Look at her face. Oh, there you are. You tell your mommy, oh God.
She loves you. She's just excited. She's like, hey. Yeah. You gotta calm down though, man. I think she's trying to be crying, right?
Okay, sushi for the first time in 9 months. Oh my gosh. Having sugar fish. Don't want to get drip on you. Ready? Worth the wait.
Like you remember?
Just like I remember. You were worth it. Yum.